Howdy, smart moves. Today I'm going to talk about probably one of the smartest moves you can make, and that is wearing protection. This is a mouthpiece, and at the dojo we should all be wearing these. A lot of people think that wearing a mouthpiece is for protecting your beautiful smile, and while that is not entirely wrong, it isn't entirely correct either. In my opinion, more important reason for wearing a mouthpiece is to protect your brain. How does wearing a mouthpiece protect your brain? That's a very good question. What a mouthpiece does is it stabilizes your jaw. That in turn stabilizes the small muscles of your face so that the vibrational energy of a strike is reduced. Therefore, the vibrational energy that goes up to your brain is reduced should you take a strike while wearing a mouthpiece versus not wearing a mouthpiece. So, in order to protect your brain it sits in this liquidy goo called the cerebrospinal fluid, and given enough vibrational energy, it will slosh around in there and perhaps hit the cranium, causing problems like, traumatic brain injury, which we'd like to avoid if possible. So let's talk about the Chinese medicine. There is this really interesting vessel or channel called the Du channel or the governing channel, and it goes down the back of the body. It does at one point, Du 16 for you Chinese medicine enthusiasts, enter the brain. It does exit up here at Du 20. I'll be talking about Du 20 at a later lecture. It's a very interesting point. And there is another fascinating point on the inside of the mouth called Du 28. Obviously, in American acupuncture, we do not needle this point, at least not very often. There are some rather exotic techniques that are used in China to treat low back pain by using this point. I don't generally use those practices in my private clinic. It's just too weird for the United States, so I don't do it. But there is a meditative practice that can be used day to day that is not weird or exotic at all. We connect the Du and Ren channel. The Ren channel is the channel that runs up the front of the body by touching the tongue to the hard palate on the top, the roof of the mouth. So connect the Du and Ren channel. This can also stabilize the jaw, stabilize the small muscles of the face, and reduce the amount of vibrational energy that goes to your brain should you take a strike. So on days when Angel forgets to take her mouthpiece to the dojo and she's holding Thai pads for somebody who's kicking really hard, what I do is I just connect my Du and my Ren channel by touching my tongue to the roof of my mouth, and this does indeed help reduce the vibrational energy. I get my cage rattled less when using this technique versus just letting my face be all loosey-goosey while I'm training with someone who's kicking me really hard. So, let's talk a little bit about that meditation stuff. I know people don't like hearing about this, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's the right thing to do. I was recently listening to a lecture and found out that there is some interesting research coming out of Harvard, some psychology research actually, that is research on the psychology of happiness, that the things that we think make us happy actually don't make us happy. So a lot of people have this idea that coming to the United States and making a lot of money and buying a lot of cool stuff is going to make us happy, and the truth of the matter, I can tell you this from personal experience, is that it's just not true. The silver lining is they did do some other research about what does make people happy, and as it turns out, there are two major things that we can do to increase our happiness, and those are doing good for others and also a regular meditative practice. Now, according to some of the meditative practices that I have studied, I have learned that quieting or making the body still cultivates the qi, and qi is your vital life energy, whereas quieting or stilling the mind cultivates the shen, or spirit. So quiet the body, cultivate the qi, quiet the mind, cultivate the shen, and using this technique, connecting your Du and your Ren channel, can be used to quiet your mind. So if that helps, wonderful. If it doesn't, Keep going to the dojo, but please do wear protection. Keep being smart. I will talk to you next time.